Well, thank you for coming on my show. And can you tell everybody about yourself?
So yeah, I was born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona. I knew
Hmm.
from a very early age that I loved acting and I wanted to pursue it. It's my passion and my dreams. I've been doing acting since a very early age, since 3 years old, and I've been in that same theater program for about 11 years now. And then around 7 years old, my mom also put me in acting classes. So yeah, that's kind of where I started from, really.
So you started when you were 3 years old, and then you started acting, and of course, um, n- have you been working on any project as well, or was this first? My first question was this your passion all your life to be an actor?
Oh yeah. When I was really just like a toddler, I would always be like performing shows. I would be doing puppet shows or I would be dancing and just singing around the house. And my mom was like, "She has a lot of energy. Let's put her in theater." And although I don't remember a lot of it, I remember just absolutely loving it. I loved being on stage. That adrenaline that like rushes through you when you're on set or on stage. I lived for it. And at 7, I was like, I think it would be really cool if I was in a TV series or a movie. So that's when my mom put me in acting classes. And from then I've been taking just like any theater workshop, any classes, any opportunities. I've been doing self-tapes, auditions, all that good stuff. And here I am today.
That's amazing. And how old are you currently?
I'm 14 years old right now.
Okay, 14 years old. So you've been
Yeah, I just turned 14 in March. It was
oh,
super
happy
fun.
belated birthday, or it's
Thank
your
you.
birthday. Yeah, yes, you're welcome. Are you working on any current projects right now?
Yes, right now in my theater program, we're working on Matilda Jr., the musical, and I'm super excited because I'm playing the part of Matilda. I've done a lot of leads before, but this is my first main character, major lead. So I'm super pumped. We're performing in early June, I'm pretty sure, and
Mhm.
I'm excited because I think my a lot of my family and friends are gonna see me. So yeah.
And where is it going to be performed at?
I believe it's in Queen Creek Performing Arts Center. That's where it usually is. So yeah, it's not that it's kind of far away, but it's whatever.
Okay. And I'm sorry, back to where you talking about yourself. Were you originally born and raised and lived most all your life till now in Arizona?
Yes, yes, yes. I
Okay.
was born and raised in Arizona. My parents actually come from Puerto Rico. They met each other there, and then they moved to the U.S. They moved to New York at first, then they moved to Phoenix, and I have an older sibling as well. She was also born and raised here, so we're kind of part of the Arizona gang right now. Yeah.
And is your sibling also into acting?
She is not. She just turned 21 like last week. She has autism. So I always admired and looked up to her. And so through my Instagram platform, I do lots of funny videos and fashion videos, but I do also advocate for autism and spread awareness. And it's actually April right now. It's Autism Awareness Month. So I've been
Yes.
posting a lot about that on my story and things like that.
So and I'm glad you're talking about it. It's a very important topic
Yes.
about. What do you like about acting so far?
I think just I know I've talked about it before, but there's just like this feeling you get. A lot of people don't like taking notes, but whenever I have like a script or a scene out in front of me and I'm like taking notes and I'm like, oh, I can say it this way here, or I can put I can say the line this way. And then right before set when you're like blocking it out and the director is telling you where to go and where to move, I get like this such comfort and joy from it. And I think a lot more people should try out acting. I think it's just a lot of happiness, whether you do it for fun or you want to do it more as a career, which is where I'm going with it right now. I think it's super fun and everyone should try it out at least once in your life. You really get that energy and creativeness out of you there. It's great.
That's true, very true. Now, have you performed on films or TV shows?
Yes, so I have done voice acting. I in this one series called Justice Angel. It was about a superhero, and that was my first voice acting job where I played the younger bully, Danielle, and I've also done for it was a book at first, and it was a really long time ago where I did like a review on it, and I talked about
Hmm.
the book, and then the same author was like, hey, we're making this an animated short. We would love for you to do the voice acting of the dog, Lily. So Backpack Lily talks about how to study before you play on or just have fun. And I think that's really good. So they use the rule stop, drop, and then wait, it was I don't remember the saying, but it was something like that. So that was super fun. I've also done commercials in the past. A couple months ago, I filmed a commercial, and I can't say too much about it, but I'm pretty sure it's going on air this summer. So I'm super happy for that. So yay!
That's so exciting. Well, we need to talk about the commercial one time, one day, when you're allowed to talk about it. Now, maybe
Yeah.
about the commercial, maybe not, but is it going to be aired nationwide or only in Arizona?
Yes. It's for Can I say what it's for? No, I can't say what it's for, but it's gonna be nationwide, so it's pretty big. So
Well,
I'm
I don't want
super
you to get in trouble, so don't say what it's for. But
yeah.
why? So I totally understand. Trust me, I totally understand. You can't
Yeah.
say anything. You can't say it. I
No.
you do.
No, I don't want to get in
Um,
trouble, but it's pretty big. So I'm super excited for that because it was also super fun to film. Some of my friends, they were actually in that commercial because I have a lot of friends that I made from acting classes, and
mhm.
I had a couple of them that were there. So it was really fun to film that one. Yeah.
Well, that's good. So before I get more deep into the acting question, how do you juggle your life with acting and school and other activities that you do? And how do you have time to do your, school and then, try to have time for acting? I know it's hard because then you mean you have.
Yeah, yeah, it's super hard. Well, it's really just about finding that balance. I go to a performing arts school in Phoenix right now, so I have school, and then every time I get an audition, it's usually just I'll go directly after school, go home, and I'll do my homework first. Because the thing is, to have that balance, you have to have good grades in order to do acting. Because if you
Mhm.
don't have good grades, then I'm pretty sure it's that you're not really allowed to do acting because they'll kind of blame it on it. But so I'll do my homework if I have any, and then I'll go straight into filming. Um, it's just really you have to find that ground, or else
Mhm.
if you're like doing too much schoolwork, then you don't have time to do auditions. But if you're doing too much auditions and you're cutting school, then that's not good either. So it's really just about finding that grounding there.
Right, right. That's true. That's very true. I know
Yeah.
they say it's truly really hard because you have to get out of school early for audition or you may.
Yeah, sometimes it's like that. It was mostly in like elementary where because I had a different school schedule. I moved schools for 8th grade, and I'm kind of glad I did because the schedule works out for me better where I'm able to go to school early in the morning, and then by the time I get out and get home, it's like that perfect time for doing homework and then auditioning because it's just better that way for me. Because before,
Right.
what would happen is that sometimes I would have to like leave school early if I had to film a commercial. And then also the other school, they gave out like a lot of homework. And this school, because it's a performing arts school, they understand and they have you like sign a form if you ever need to go out to do a musical or film a commercial or anything like that. Like they understand. So it's better for me that way too. So also just finding a good schedule or school that works for you is really good as well.
Well, that's very good. Very glad to hear. Now, what is your favorite role that you played so far?
For musical theater, it would definitely be this was pretty recent in like 2021. I did Donkey for Shrek, and oh my god, that was just my favorite role ever. I love playing comedic roles. I love telling jokes and hearing the audience laugh. And then also one of my very good friends was playing Shrek. So we already had that really great dynamic, and just being able to like work on stage together and like run through the scenes. Oh, that was the best role I've ever done for sure, like hands down.
So, so did you dress up as a donkey or was it just
Yeah, the costume was a little funny. I first got it because usually what they do is they have a onesie, but considering how much like in that program they're also really well known for like their dancing. Our dancing is really well, and considering how much dancing I would be doing as well, they didn't put me in a onesie, thankfully. They had me it was almost like kind of like a hood, and it had like the donkey ears, and then I had the tail. It was really funny. And then of course I had the makeup, and I had to arrive there early so that my mom could help me do the makeup. And my friend who played Shrek, he looked so funny. He had to wear like the prosthetic with the ears and everything. And it was I saw him for the first time for photo shoot, because we do like photo shoots
Mhm.
for the play. And I saw him and I was like, it was so funny. He did not like himself, but yeah.
So what is your greatest strength as an actress so far?
I think right now it's just being really outgoing. Um if you look up in the dictionary extrovert, you will see my picture there. I think that's just the best way to describe me. My friend told me earlier, I was on FaceTime with her and she was like, if I were to describe you, I would say you're like a motorcycle because you're loud, but you're also really cool. So that made me laugh, but it's true. I'm just kind of outgoing, and I think that
Hmm.
charm is really important when it comes to acting. You can't really be shy as an actress. If you're shy, I don't. It's kind of harder because you have to be willing to talk to directors and people and work things out. So if you're really just going, or if you're just really out there, that's what makes it better. So I think that's one of my greatest strengths. But for musical theater, my greatest strength is probably belting and singing, and it's just like where you're able to project really well, and that's one of my greatest strengths, which is why my dream roles in musical theater are Lydia from Beetlejuice and Wednesday Adams from the Adams Family, because they're just like they are the belters. Like I believe they created belting, so they're definitely my dream roles.
So you like Wednesday and
Oh
did
yeah, for
you watch that
sure. I
show?
feel like I would be able to portray those roles really well too,
Mhm.
because of my because of I'm Latina, and Wednesday, and I don't know if Lydia is, but Wednesday Adams is definitely Latina, so I would be able to play her really well in terms of that, and I can, despite my really bubbly personality, I can totally go like all like if I have to.
Very true. Now are you working on any current project at the moment?
Right now it's just Matilda. I have rehearsals every Tuesday. And then in the older program with the older kids where you have to audition to get in, we're actually doing the Adams Family. I did not get Wednesday Adams, unfortunately. An older girl got it, which I guess makes sense because it's for the older kids. But I know that in the future I will have to play that role. And then for Matilda, I was so excited when I got the role. Matilda was actually the first Broadway musical I ever saw, and I remember seeing it and I was like, I have to do that role when I'm older.
Hmm.
So after I auditioned for Matilda, I felt really good about it. And when the casting list came out, I was screaming. I was so happy. It was like dream come true. So
Right.
yeah.
That's um, you know, I'm sad that you didn't get that role Wednesday.
Yeah, that's okay.
Also, I'm
it's
glad
it's
that
just
you
it's a part of the industry. It's really
right.
just a part of it. Sometimes you're gonna book a role and you're gonna be super excited about it, and sometimes you're not. But you just have to
Hmm.
be okay with that. Because in this
Very true.
industry, it's pretty often where you're gonna get rejected. But what makes you strong is that when you rise through and you take that strength and what you get that tough skin, and you can go even further, and when you do you just shine and you can do anything really.
Very, that's true. That is true. Um, Now, what do you believe is the most challenging aspect of being an actress?
I For me, honestly, I think it's just that's hard. I would honestly say finding the balance, because if you do, that's great. But once in a while it can get a little where if you do self, I'm glad that it's self tapes now, because before COVID, when you would just be like going to auditions, sometimes I would have to leave school a little bit early to go. So I'm really glad that we're doing self tapes now, because that just helps a lot. But even still, it's hard to go from school, then do homework, and then by the time it's like nighttime and you're doing these auditions.
Hmm.
So like you said, finding the balance is hard, but once you got it, you're really strong there. So
Very true. Auditions and then like for you,
yeah,
school and
for
uh,
sure, for sure.
do you play sports?
I don't do. I'm not a super athletic person. I don't do a lot of sports, but I do like watching. And at school, I play volleyball. A lot of the kids, they like to bring in like footballs and volleyballs, and I'm always playing with them at recess. And I've been getting pretty good at it lately, because sometimes once in a while, my mom and I will just like go outside, and we'll just play 1v1 volleyball, or I'll play with my dad whenever we go out on vacation to the beach. He'll bring the volleyball and we'll just do 1v1. I think that's the most fun sport for me. And I do also like watching basketball. So go
Mhm.
Suns, because that's our team.
Yes, the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
And of course go Warriors, but they're in the playoffs as well, actually. Again. So now where do you see yourself in 5 years? Do you see yourself, I know you're 14 years old. Do you see yourself going to college? Do you see yourself going out of state college? Do you see yourself staying in state? Or do you see yourself just, only focusing on acting and not going to college?
Well, I know for a fact acting is a career I want to do. I've known for a long time. I can't really see myself doing anything else. 5 years from now, I do want to go to out of state college. There are some really good colleges out there, and the thing about college is that you have to start planning like right away. We've talked about it a lot in school. We have this class called life skills, and we've had a whole unit talking about getting a job, getting experience, and then going to college, where because then that way sorry, when you go to college you get that experience for real life. And also, as well as that, besides acting, I also really love and enjoy writing. I write books, I draw comics to those books, and I also write scripts. So besides an actress, I would also like to be a screenwriter, because I just have that passion
Hmm.
of making jokes and letting my creativeness go whenever I write.
And where do you see yourself going to college? Like California, New York,
Um,
uh,
yeah,
Texas,
hopefully, mostly New York or California. I don't know the exact colleges. We've done some research, but I can't remember the names off the top of my head. It's been a while. But hopefully, in one of those two states is where I would definitely like to go. On the coast would be really nice, but I know it snows there. My
Mhm.
mom, my mom used to actually live in New York when she first moved to the U.S., and she did not like it. That's for sure. She hated the snow, so she moved to Arizona. Um, but yeah, one of those two states for sure.
Yeah, New York, you get a lot of snows for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but you have Broadway and you have other
Yeah,
facilities there
exactly.
as well. And that's like I could never live in New York. The snow's up to your knees and the winter's like
Yeah,
in the
I have
winters.
a lot of family there. I don't know how they do it. It's like it snows so much and you're like freezing to death, and you probably have to like shovel your driveway too. I could never do that. So
Right, right, right.
yeah.
That is 100% true. Um, Now more about you is that you're like I said, do you see yourself, well, correction, do you like theater or do you like TV show more as that being an actress?
That's a really hard question. I've had that asked for me before, and honestly, I don't think I could ever choose between the two. I think I want to do both. I kind of have this life planned out where like I'll do theater and then I'll slowly like move into acting because that's how a lot of actresses do it. I can't remember the guy that plays Dustin on Stranger Things. He was on Broadway playing Jack in Into the Woods, um, and he was doing all that before he got into TV shows. So I'll probably play it out like that, where I'll do theater, I'll do acting, and then kind of combine it with screenwriting. That's kind of like my life plan for now. But I talk about it with my mom a lot because it's good to have that planned out because you can't start thinking of what you're going to do with your life like after you graduate college because then you're kind of screwed. So you have to start planning like as soon as you can and as soon as you're mature enough to know about it.
Very true. Is there something we should know about you that nobody knows about?
Um, I think just I want to be able to spread kindness to the world, mostly through my Instagram platform. I'm a content creator. I do fashion videos or I'll do comedy videos, but I want people to know that like it's also okay to embrace yourself. Love yourself for who you are. Like there's so many people in the world, and a lot of people have heard this a lot where you know the saying where it's like imagine a world where everybody's just like all the same. It would be so boring, and that's absolutely true. Out of all the
Hmm.
people in the world, there's you, and you can just shine and be yourself, and then also accept other people from being themselves. A lot of neurodivergent people have trouble fitting in because a lot of people make fun of them and aren't as tolerant with them. So I really just want to spread that message everywhere because I think the world would be such a better place if everyone just was just a little bit more kind.
Yes, 100%, kindness, be kind. Do you have any hidden talents that nobody knows?
I feel like not a lot of people know that I do tap dancing. I've been doing tap dancing since I think it was like 8 years old. I joined a tap dancing class. I loved it, and so I do tap on Wednesdays, 5 to 6, and I loved it. We recently got a new teacher, and I was sad because I didn't get to say goodbye to the old teacher. She had a lot of hip and knee problems, so she retired and is working a new job now. So I'm happy for her. But I'm intermediate advanced at tap, and I've been doing it for like 6 years now. And as well as that, I also play the piano. At school, they provide piano classes. So this year, I had some former experience with piano, but I was really young, so I don't remember it. But this year, when eighth grade started, I've been doing piano, and we have a recital coming up. So I'm very happy with how I'm at in piano and tap right now.
And ballet, right?
Oh yes, and ballet. There's ballet too. On my Instagram, I posted. I recently got on point, and I was really happy about that. I honestly didn't think I would make it, but I passed the exam, and every Thursday, in dance class at school, we work on point. And there's because in school, we get to have two arts, but I chose to do three. So there's like ninth hour, so I do dance, choir, and piano. So it's a fun bunch.
That's a lot of activity. That's a lot.
It is, but I have a lot of energy. My dad is always asking me like, how is it that you wake up at 6 a.m., go through a whole day of dancing, singing, um, all tap dancing and like all that, and you still have energy? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just super out there, I guess.
So you wake up at 6 o'clock every day.
Yes, yes. Every school day. This week has been a little bit weird because we have state testing. So, once in a while, though, our school does this thing called Remote Learning Day where we work from home. So that's kind of nice, where I get to kind of sleep in and recharge. I had a remote learning day today. It's usually like once a month, but yeah, for the most part, like every school day, I wake up at 6, have uh at 7:30 school starts, and then I in school at around 4, and then depending on what day it is, I might have an activity, I might not, but yeah.
And so you have all that and you just try to, and you're up.
Yeah, I find a way to balance it. I have a lot of energy, so it kind of is good that I have all that so that I can actually sleep at night.
So, what time do you usually go to bed?
Um, some days it's most of the time I would say around like 10 o'clock. I know some people have this schedule where they're like, I have to sleep at 9:30. If I don't, then my whole sleep schedule is ruined. But I'm a pretty flexible person.
Hmm.
So I'll usually go to bed around 10, 10:15 at latest, I guess. So yeah.
Okay. What's your advice for a person who wants to break into acting?
I'm sorry, what would you say?
What's your advice for someone who wants to, get into acting?
Oh yeah. So I would say just get acting lessons, find acting workshops. That's kind of how I started. Find classes anywhere you can. And then after that, get an agent. My acting classes, what they did is they provide a showcase where you spend like a week preparing a scene, and then agents from either Arizona or LA will come in. And if they like you, they will send an email and you can have them as your agent, which is great. That's how I got my local agent. And just getting that lots of training in and also getting an account on social media is a great way to get yourself well known and have other people know you, find those connections. And that, I mean, that's how I met you, right? You found
Yes,
my
that's true.
Instagram and we DM'd each other. So yeah.
Con Connections is very important because we all support
Yes, for sure.
in this energy.
In the acting industry, getting those connections, whether it's between other actresses or directors or casting directors, getting those connections is really good because once you're known, you kind of get out there and you can go to more auditions.
Yes, very true. And that's true. You found me through the Instagram.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. And we all have this support in this community. We support each other. And
Yes. One thing I love about acting and theater is just like the community is so welcoming. Like every time I go to theater, like everybody's always like, "Oh my God, hi." And we all say like hi and we hug each other and like it's just so comforting. And if if you're in a dark place, like theater or acting, it just lights you up in ways that you could never imagine it could, just because of the community. Everybody understands each other, and also theater kids are really we're known to be dramatic. Like every time somebody meets me, if I don't tell them, they'll always ask like, are you a Disney kid or like a theater kid? And I have to say yes because I am. Theater kids are known for like being dramatic and like
right.
expressing their emotions regularly.
Is there any funny moments on theater?
I think just every time we're blocking a scene, it's really funny because what happens is like the directors are kind of like, okay, first you're gonna move there and just say your line quickly, and then we'll move on to the next scene. And so every time that happens, somebody will always come up with a funny voice when they do their line. For example, the guy that plays Gomez in the Addams Family, we were blocking a scene one time, and he was like, "Oh, you look good in that dress." It's just funny. It's a fun times for sure.
Oh, wow. What would you say to other inspiring actors who are around your age who, wants to get into acting and, what would you say to encourage them?
I would just say be yourself. That's the best person you can be. And if you're a little bit shy or an introvert, fake it till you make it, right? That's what they say. Um, if just being out there and being yourself is the best thing you can do. If you're yourself, people notice that, and um, they get they you will attract people that way, and it's a great thing for yourself, and it's a great thing for other people too, so they can know the real you. Don't try to hide or like have a mask where you have to be like, oh, I have to straighten my back and smile and wave. Just be who you are, and
Hmm.
yeah.
That's very true. Just be yourself and, of course,
Yeah,
connections,
it's really the
make friends in
message.
the entertainment industry. You never know. So, have you been to California?
I have. I've done some training in California. I did a showcase there to get an agent, and I'm pretty sure that's how I got my agent, right? Yeah, that's how I got my agent by doing a showcase there. I've done training and I've gone there for auditions or just to get a manager, all of that good stuff.
And it's good. Did you go up the Hollywood sign?
Yeah, one time, in I did this acting training one time, and it lasted like a week. And we were in this hotel, and like if you go out onto the bridge, you could just see the Hollywood sign. I took pictures. It was really nice because there was also like I forget what it's called, but it's like the sidewalk where there's like all
Hmm.
the stars with the celebrities. That was really cool. It's a nice place if you're like a tourist and you like traveling. Go to
Right.
California. It's like California.
It's true. And did you so you saw the sign, but did you hike up to the sign?
Oh no, I didn't hike up to the sign. I was just able to see it from a far view. I think although we could see it, we were pretty far away from it still. And also I didn't really think we had time to go and hike all the way there. But it was
Um,
pretty cool. We took some
Definitely
nice
should
pictures.
hike it. Definitely should hike it.
Yeah, maybe next time.
Yeah, I hiked it twice. So it's
Oh really?
yeah,
That's
you
awesome.
definitely should go up there. You can see
I will.
the whole Los Angeles. It's
That sounds
amazing.
fun. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll be sure to do that.
definitely go. So,
It will be on my
um,
bucket list.
right. And so when did you go? When did you go to Los Angeles? You said it was
I think the last time I went, it was kind of a while ago, right? Yeah.
2020, 2021, right after the pandemic.
Yeah, I think it was like right after the pandemic in like 2021. That's I did my acting there, got the showcase, and I think we were there for like an extra day. We were just like walking around, having fun, and then we went home. It's a long drive because we drove there, but I mean it's totally worth it. It's pretty fun.
wait, it's not that long. How long is it? 2, 3 hours, right?
Well, for me, I live in Arizona, so it's more of like a 7 hour drive. um, it's pretty long, but I mean, I love being there every time. Like every time I get there, I'm like, oh, this is where I'm gonna live one day, probably.
7 hour drive. Ugh.
Yes, it's
Ah,
a long way, but totally worth it.
yeah, I thought it was less than that.
Oh no, it's a long way, but yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. Because I've driven from California to Arizona and New Mexico.
Oh really?
I didn't know it's like I guess
Oh yeah. Well, I
I don't
live
pay
like
attention to how long the drive is.
yeah, it depends on where you go. So
Right. Well, I do appreciate you coming on my show. And
thank you so much for this opportunity. I loved it.
well, yeah, you're very welcome. So, what can you tell people real quick? What's the fun thing to do in Arizona? I mean, I know there's Grand Canyon, but what would you tell
Oh yeah. Well,
what would you tell tourists if you were a tourist guide? What would you tell people? Like, what's down the sea?
I think maybe I haven't been there, but I've heard it's very fun. The Great Wolf Lodge.
Hmm.
It's a fun place to go for when you're on vacation. It has like a lot of water slides, I'm pretty sure. I think a lot of my friends went there. Also, Sedona is a very pretty place to go. If you're like a crystal gal and you like collecting crystals or rocks, that's like definitely the place for you. It has a lot of good energies. I like going there. Or also, Payson is good. It's very foresty. You have all that trees. There's not a lot to do in Payson, but if you're just looking for snow, and you go in winter, there might be a chance of snow. So yeah,
I've been to Sedona. It's very nice, very beautiful
it
there.
is.
I just have to ask this curious question because we don't have rattlesnakes, but you have. I heard rattlesnakes are like known in Phoenix. Like you can go out the front door and there's a rattlesnake or in the backyard, right? It's
They are. It's not like every other day you'll see a rattlesnake, but I think the first time my mom moved to Arizona, she said that she was like driving on the freeway or something like that, and like a rattlesnake just like went across the street, and she was like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna be living here the rest of my life." And there's also the scorpions as well. When I was younger, I was going up the stairs and I didn't know any better, and I thought I saw a leaf and I touched it and it started moving, and I was like, that's a scorpion. and that was like the first time. So it can be kind of scary for people who aren't used to scorpions and rattlesnakes, but I promise it's not common.
But isn't there another another bug that has like a what's that?
I'm not sure what you're
Not a
talking about.
scorpion, but has a little attacks you, but
I don't know. I've never
okay.
heard of
I've seen it. Anyways, yes,
Okay.
rattlesnakes. I've seen videos of, people
It can be crazy, yeah.
rattlesnakes.
It's not that bad though. Like if you compare us to Australia, we're like not that bad, I promise. Australia, you have all those like spiders and like
Right,
little
right.
demons.
Well,
So
yeah. Yeah, it'll take me a while. If I was gonna live in Arizona, I'd be
you
screaming.
get used to it. You
Girl.
get used to it.
Yeah, yeah, no. I'm sorry. Those rattlesnakes. Not
They
sorry.
can be freaky, but you get used to
Yes.
it if you live here
But
long enough.
that's true. Well, I'm so proud of you. Like they said, the film industry is growing in Arizona, and I
It is.
for your upcoming projects for you to talk about next time on my show, and then we can talk.
Yeah, for sure.
And of course, and thank you again for coming on my show.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. It's been great.
Yes, you're very welcome.